Hi friends, welcome back to our channel if you've seen our videos before, and if you're new, my name is Abby, and today I am going to be sharing with you all of the books that I bought at the library sale. These are really heavy. So my local library system has a bookstore at the main branch, and I think it's every 3 months or so, I think there's around 4 a year, they have a massive half off sale. So everything in the store is 50% off, and most of it is already like $1 or $2. So it is the one time where I go shopping and I don't even think about what I pick up really, I just put it in my basket. I did try this time to be a little more conscientious of what I picked out because I don't have shelf space for that many more books, so I was trying not to go, like, I've gone crazy in the past. You guys have seen, I'll link my last one up there from the January sale, February, something like that, the winter sale. This is the summer sale, and I actually did okay. I bought 11 books for myself, and then I have several that my mom picked out for herself, so I will show those to you as well. So let's get started. Let me show you all the things I got. So I've kind of sorted these out. These are my 11 books right here. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the books that I have already read and I picked up to add to my collection because I was really excited to find them. The first one, I was so excited to find this. I joked in my last haul that the library sale is just gonna be finding me the Guardians of Childhood series. Apparently it was not a joke. So now I have book 1 and then books 3 and 4, I think. So this is Nicholas St. North and the Battle of the Nightmare King by William Joyce and Laura Geringer. This is the first book in the Guardians of Childhood series, which is the book series that inspired the Rise of the Guardians DreamWorks film, which is one of my faves. But this book is a little bit different than the plot of that one. So this follows Nicholas St. North. He is a ruffian, he's a scoundrel. He's very Flynn Rider, but like Russian and with a sword. He doesn't really think of himself as a hero, but eventually this nightmare war begins, and he is kind of called to action to become the hero that he's always destined to be. This is a Santa Claus origin story, and it's great. So this is book 1. Like I said, there are 5 in total of the 5 Guardians: Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Sandman, and Jack Frost in book 5. So this one I'm really excited to have. Now I'm just missing book 2, so hopefully next library sale they'll have the Easter Bunnymund. That would be fantastic. The next one that I picked up is Water Song by Suzanne Wayne. This is from the Once Upon a Time series, and I loved this series in middle school. I never owned any of them though, so the minute I saw this I was like, oh, it's my first Once Upon a Time book in my collection. This is so exciting. I actually don't remember if I've read this one. I think I probably did, but the Cameron Dokie ones were my favorite, but I did really like Suzanne Wayne's 12 Dancing Princesses one. So this is her retelling of The Frog Prince, which is a very fun fairy tale, of course. And this one is set in Belgium in 1915 during the First World War, and it's a retelling of The Frog Prince. So I definitely want to read this one and try to remember if I've actually read it. I feel like I have, but it was a really long time ago, so I don't know. Next up is one that I know I have read. This is Down the Rabbit Hole, The Diary of Pringle Rose. This is a Dear America book set in Chicago, 1871 by Susan Campbell Bartoletti. And I remember reading this one because this is the one about the Chicago fire. So our main character Pringle runs away to Chicago in 1871 with her brother after their parents have passed away, and while they are there the Chicago fire breaks out, one of the greatest disasters in American history, and they have to kind of figure out what to do from there. I do have not the biggest Dear America collection, but I'm working on it, so I got really excited when I spotted this one because I do remember reading this one and really liking it, so yay. And last but certainly not least, in the books that I have already read, I was so excited when I spotted these. I tried to grab them all 3 with one hand and it didn't work, so I had to put them back and grab them one by one because I literally was like, you're coming home with me. So this is books 2, 3, and 5 in the Lockwood & Company series. You guys know I am obsessed with this series. I've talked about them so many times on this channel, probably way too many, but I've only ever owned the first book. I have the first book in paperback, and I found all 3 of these, so now I'm just missing book 4 and I will have the whole series. This is so exciting. This, of course, is The Whispering Skull. The Hollow Boy and the Empty Grave. If you haven't heard me talk about these before, this is a series that is set in an alternate London where ghosts are real, they're causing problems, and only young people can see them. So kids and teens have been drafted into these agencies that go in, destroy the source of the ghost, figure out what's going on, get rid of the ghosts so everybody's safe and happy. And we follow a little tiny agency called Lockwood and Company, specifically Lucy Carlisle, who is their newest employee, and the adventures that they have. This is such a great series. It is rather creepy, very spooky, very ghost heavy, but as someone who is a total and complete wimp about all things scary, these are like just at my threshold of not being too scary, although I do read a lot of, especially the last few chapters of these, I do read them in the daytime because they do get really, they can get a little spooky, but they're so good. So I'm really excited to have these in my collection now. Okay, so now we'll move into the 5 books that I bought and I have not read yet, but I am very hyped for all of them. First up, I always keep an eye out at the library sale for Agatha Christie. I actually bought my first 2 at the last library sale. There's not usually too many. I don't know if she's just too popular, so they get scooped up really fast. I don't know. But I found one this time, which is technically Agatha Christie, but it's also not. Let me explain. This is Black Coffee. This is a Poirot novel, but it is one that was adapted from Agatha Christie's stage play Black Coffee by Charles Osborne. He adapted it into novel form, so it's like technically Agatha, but it's also not. Like the mystery will be Agatha, even if the writing is not technically. I assume he kept like the dialogue and like the movements and stuff, so I don't know. It looks like there's a poisoned cup of coffee. Poirot is rushed to the scene to solve the crime. I don't really know much more than that. And honestly, I don't need to, so yay. Next up, I think I might read this one pretty soon because it feels perfect for summer. So maybe I'll read this one in the near future. But this is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. I've heard amazing things about Morgan Matson for absolutely years. This, I think, is one of her earlier novels. This one follows Amy, whose father has recently passed away, and her mother has relocated the family to Connecticut, and now it's Amy's job to move the family car from California to Connecticut. So she's on this epic road trip, but she doesn't really want to drive, and thus enters family friend Roger. So it looks like they're gonna take a road trip together, maybe fall in love. I don't know. I don't know. Next up is another author that I've heard good things about. This is Crimson Bound by Rosamund Hodge. You guys know I'm a sucker for fairy tale retellings. They're like my favorite thing. So this one is a retelling of Red Riding Hood. I need to figure out if this is indeed, if you can read this by itself, or if I have to get Cruel Beauty first. I don't know. If any of you know, let me know. I know Cruel Beauty is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this I think is maybe a spin-off? But the covers look really similar, so I don't know if I need to read that one first. So, speaking of, I know I need to read the first one first. I spotted this one, and my friend Lydia over at Vintage Nectarines just had this one in a video that she did. She's planning to read this series, I think, this summer. But I found book 2, so I picked it up because this series has always intrigued me. And so when I saw it for really cheap, I was like, I'll just buy it and we'll see what happens. So this is Under Wildwood by Colin Malloy, and this is a middle grade adventure. I haven't read too much about the synopsis because it's book 2, so I don't want to spoil myself for book 1, but from my understanding it's got very much Narnia vibes. I think there's something about these 2 siblings going to a different magical world. I don't know that much about it, but it's gorgeous. The illustrations are incredible, and I'm really excited to hopefully get to this. This one, it gives me like winter vibes, so maybe this winter, we'll see. And finally, for my books, is one that I've been meaning to read for absolutely ages. I mean, like, since I was probably 10 or 11, but this one is Murder at Midnight by Avi. Avi was one of my favorite authors when I was in, like, middle school, late elementary through middle school. I adored his books. City of Orphans is still one of my favorite books of all time, but it's been a while since I've read an Avi book. So there's Murder at Midnight, and then Midnight Magic is the second one, and I think a third one just released, because I was like, there's a new Avi book out, and then I looked at it and I was like, is that a sequel to Murder at Midnight? Yes. So I haven't actually read this one, but I do want to. From my understanding, this is set in Italy in 1490, and it follows a servant boy who uncovers a plot to kill the king, and has to figure out what to do with that. So I don't 100% know everything about it, but it's pretty short, so hopefully I can read it in the not too distant future. So those are all of the books that I bought for myself. Like I said, I feel like that wasn't too many. Like, I feel like I restrained myself pretty well. Now, at this library sale, they pretty much always have just like a sea of cardboard boxes on the one side of the store. In this case, they were outside of the store, actually. They were in the hallway. There was just like a long bunch of tables with cardboard boxes of mass market paperbacks. So in the case of this particular library sale, my mom was with me because she enjoys browsing. She's been getting back into reading. Could not be more proud of her. I'm so excited. Her current genre of choice is cozy mysteries. She's been really getting into those. It's not too stressful. It's usually not too romance heavy. It's just like a good time, and she really enjoys mysteries. So she has been thriving in her cozy mystery game, and they had tons and tons of boxes of them for 50 cents each. So this entire Snoopy bag is full of cozy mysteries. She just picked any that she thought looked interesting because they were 50 cents. And she basically said to me, if I don't like it, or if it hits something that I'm not enjoying about it, I can just stop. It was 50 cents. So I'm just gonna kind of rapid fire through these because I don't know too much about any of them, but the titles are my favorite. So first up, we've got 3 from the Cheese Shop Mystery series by Avery Ames, and these titles may be some of my favorite in this entire bag that she bought. So we've got To Brie or Not to Brie, Clobbered by Camembert, and Days of Wine and Roquefort. And these, I believe, are set in a little town in Ohio. The main character owns a cheese shop, obviously. Then we've got 3 from the Cackleberry Club Mystery Series by Laura Childs. These ones, actually, I lied. It might not be the cheese shop. These ones might have my favorite titles because it's the pitch line on the back that really makes it. So we've got Eggs in Purgatory, and the pitch on the back says, "Eggs to go, murder on the side." Bedeviled Eggs, which is a Halloween-themed episode, and the little catchphrase is, "Sleuthing is never over easy." Incredible. And then Steak and Eggs, which is a winter mystery, and the pitch line is, "A killer has the town walking on eggshells." Then we've got Murder is Binding by Lorna Barrett, which is the first in the Booktown Mystery series, but we only found the one. So it's in New Hampshire, though. I think that'll be fun. Then we've got Pies and Prejudice by Ellery Adams, which is a charmed pie shop mystery. And from a quick perusal of the synopsis, it looks like our main character makes magical pies. I don't really know what that means, but I'm excited about it. Then we've got Murder in an Irish Village by Carleen O'Connor, and the tagline says, "Someone's luck just ran out." Then we've got The Harry Chronicles by Alan Pedrasas, and this one is about like a PI in the 90s, I think. Then we've got Room with a Clue by Kate Kingsbury. This one is a Pennyfoot Hotel mystery, and this one I believe is set in Edwardian England, and it looks like it's about like this hotel where the rich and famous can come and hang out. I don't really know too much about it, but it looked interesting. Then we've got Inherit the Word, a cookbook nook mystery by Daryl Wood Gerber, and this one is set in California. Young lady who owns a culinary bookshop and cafe. So, fun. Then we've got a Christmas mystery called Mistletoe Murder by Leslie Mayer. This is a Lucy Stone mystery. I believe that's our main character's name. Then we've got Cooking Up Murder by Miranda Bliss, which looks like 2 best friends who are not good at cooking, so they sign up for a cooking class. A man turns up in the parking lot, dead. Dun dun dun. Then we've got 3 in the Books by the Bay Mysteries series by Ellery Adams. We've got Righting All Wrongs, A Deadly Cliche, and The Last Word. These are set in North Carolina on the coast. We've got 2 in the Victoria Square Mysteries series by Lorraine Bartlett. We've got A Crafty Killing and One Hot Murder. And this is about a lady who is the manager of like a shopping district, and murders take place, I assume. I mean, I don't know that, but I assume that. And then we've got 4, actually. We found a ton of this series, but we picked out the 4 that seemed the most interesting. This is the Hamish Macbeth mystery series by M.C. Beaton, who also wrote the Agatha Raisin books, which I've definitely heard of before. But it's set in Scotland, so can't be too bad, right? So we've got Death of a Poisoned Pen, Death of a Kingfisher, Death of a Scriptwriter, and Death of a Chimney Sweep. So that is 23 cozy mysteries that my mom picked up for herself to read, and I hope that she's going to enjoy all of them. If any of y'all have read any of these cozies that I just shared, please let us know what your favorite was, or at least like tell me which one sounds the most intriguing to you. Let me know. So that is the end of this haul. Please let me know down below if you've read any of the books that I mentioned, if you want to. What are your thoughts, feelings? Tell me all the things in the comments below. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below for more Disney and bookish magic, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!